I'm Mabel Jong, and you're watching continuing coverage of the World Healthcare Congress here in Washington, D.C. I'm so pleased to have in the studio right now John Maczynski, who is Executive Vice President, Business Development at Teleperformance. Hi there, John. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, tell me first just a little bit about what Teleperformance specializes in.
I'd be happy to. So Teleperformance is the world's leading customer contact center experience solution provider. So we're a multi-channel company providing solutions in voice, email, chat, social media, face-to-face, back office solutions, and hosted technology.
Okay, so clients are coming to you with, I'm sure, a lot of different challenges these days. What are some of the more, the bigger problems that people are coming to you with?
Well, from a payer standpoint especially, since I certainly understand that the healthcare space has a different set of challenges than many other organizations, it really boils down to a few different things. So one is how they are able to gain the customer experience that they strive for in today's changing environment. And I think we all acknowledge that the healthcare space in particular is one which is trying to catch up a little bit in terms of the channels that they offer to their customers. So from that standpoint, they typically do offer a voice channel, usually an email channel, but they struggle to go beyond that. So Teleperformance has really worked with our clients to be able to migrate into chat strategies, social media strategies. If you think about how people engage with their other parts of their world, so if they need to get a new credit card, if they need to get their iPhone fixed, they're used to engaging their business partners in different ways. And so from that standpoint, it's really up to us to be able to help our healthcare clients be able to establish that type of a baseline for their call types and their interaction types then as well. So beyond that, from a customer experience standpoint too, we're really working on focusing on the customer experience, as compared to some of the other metrics that our clients are used to managing to. So we're really trying to drive first call resolution. From that standpoint, if you think about the typical metrics that a client would be trying to manage to today, you've got customer satisfaction scores and handle times and quality scores, and many times it ends up being like playing a game of whack-a-mole. So you're trying to manage to a KPI today, and then next week you're trying to manage to a different one. We're trying to be a little more holistic in that regard then too. So rather than trying to manage to an individual score, we're trying to be able to manage the whole client experience. So as an example to that, we've got some situations as we're working with our clients where they've got struggles in being able to get consistent messaging between all the various channels that they operate in. So for instance, our face-to-face solutions where they may have a retail engagement, what happens with that customer, that member in that kind of an environment doesn't get translated into what happens in the call experience. So we're being a lot more strategic with our customers here today to try to be able to get all of that together and to be able to really focus on that member experience versus an individual KPI.
And so Teleperformance has really had to invest in certain areas to address those needs. Can you outline for me some of the things that you've done?
Yeah, absolutely. So analytics is a great area for us to focus on in that area. So for instance, we've got clients that are very interested in voice analytics and data analytics capabilities. And as an example for voice analytics, something that we've done with one of our clients is we've gone after 1,000 interactions here within the provider network calls that we handle for them, which is usually a difficult call type. You tend to run into some issues there. It's complex. You've got complaints that you get from your members when they call in. And what we found is that even with through the best efforts of our client, that 37% of the calls that they have coming in, the customer is still mentioning something about an escalation, or mentioning something about a transfer, which means they're obviously unhappy with what's going on as they're getting bounced around from person to person, or they're unhappy with the outcome and they're looking for an escalation. So we're working with our clients to be able to figure out how to be able to reduce that number down to something much more manageable, and then that's really a good benchmark about whether or not they're doing a good job. From a data analytics standpoint, there's a lot of exciting things that are happening out there. So in our business, a big metric to manage to is attrition as an example. So there's some things that we're doing that are pretty cutting edge, not to just manage attrition at the employee level as it's happening and trying to prevent it from happening at the time that it comes, but trying to be predictive about that. So even during the hiring process, using analytics to try to figure out where your likely attrition scenarios are going to take place and make hiring decisions based upon individuals that we think may potentially be high risk versus otherwise. So in that case, if you're able to keep an employee for longer, they'll inevitably do a better job overall for that client and have a better overall customer experience.
Have you seen your relationships with your payers evolving with all of these changes that are going on?
Absolutely. So the engagements are much more strategic. So once upon a time there were more tactical needs where there was a specific overflow call type or a specific problem that they were looking to solve in a very limited nature. But now what we're able to do is to be much more strategic than that, and as a result, not only handle the contact center outsourcing piece of things, but potentially some hosted technology to go along with that. Beyond that as well, being able to handle just the overall process improvement. We offer a strategic assessment in the front end of all of our relationships to be able to help our clients problem solve before we even handle a single transaction. That way we can go in and be able to give them the benefit of our experience working with other clients, establishing those best practices, and then launching with those in mind. The other thing that has happened here then as well, I think it's on everybody's mind really, is security.
Yes.
So from a data security standpoint, we've made a tremendous number of investments on our side to be able to make sure that we're not just adhering to the client requirements and what they come to us with as far as HIPAA requirements and high trust and PCI, but instead we've really invested in a lot of different areas to be able to make sure that we are being able to provide them with solutions they may not have contemplated from a security standpoint that would translate into fewer incidences of fraud and just a more highly secure environment overall.
Okay, well, John, thank you so much for the check-in with Teleperformance. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
And I'm Mabel Jong. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.